Hi guys, welcome back to Fernbus Simulator with Simple Economy. And what we're going to do today is continue building the network out of München to complete the south of the map. Excuse me. We're going to create a new route going München to Stuttgart via Augsburg, I think. So let's set that up. This will be route 17. Okay, so we need to go München to Augsburg to Stuttgart. Okay, it's 3 hours 30, so there may not be a rest stop on this because it looks like it doesn't need one. Okay, so in our spreadsheet we need to set up München to Augsburg, München to Stuttgart, and then Augsburg to Stuttgart. Okay, so the full route is München to Stuttgart, which is 264 kilometres. So if I go there, that's 264. Okay. And München to Augsburg is 102. 102, which means that must be 162. Okay, so we've got one very short one, which we'll do at a straight 14.99 with no discount, I think. In fact, let's make it a bit different. Let's do 12.99. We're making quite a lot of money, so we'll make that one a little bit cheaper. 264. We had anything similar to that? Was 266. So we'll use the same rate as we use there. 24.99, 29.99. That's fine. 162. Do it a bit less than that. Let's do it at 19.99 and 24.99 if they buy it on the day. Okay, that should be okay. So, route 17 is München to Stuttgart. Oops. Click on it right. There we go. Via Augsburg. Okay, the time was 3 something. 3 hours 30. So I'll say I think no rest stop. Okay, so we need 12.99, 19.99, 24.99 and 29. Okay, 12, 19, 24 and 29. 12, 19, 24 and 29. There we go. So that should be the route set up. Make sure it pulls into here okay. 12, 19, 24 and 29. Okay. So from the first stop, München to Augsburg, they could theoretically buy the very cheap ticket, or they could be buying either 24 or 29. Well, they won't be buying 24. They could already have the 24 and buy a 29. So we'll see what happens with that. Okay, München to Stuttgart via Augsburg, and it's route 17. München to Stuttgart via Augsburg. Just need to decide what days it runs. So let's say that it runs. Should change to variety on these things. I'll take out Monday and Tuesday, so it runs every day other than Monday and Tuesday. Okay, that's fine. I mean, it doesn't really matter what days you run it on, but it just gets a bit of variety of services run on different days. Okay, save that. Okay, so we'll be starting in the depot at Munchen. I forgot to do what I meant to do, which was save the game when I finished and drive and refuel and come back. I exited the game, which then puts you back at the depot anyway, so it's the same difference because we're now refueled. So I'll just wait for the game to load up. Here we go. Birds are singing. It's not raining for once. Before I do anything else, I'm going to remember to log in. And there should be no rest stop. No, there isn't. That's great. Okay, so Munchen, Stuttgart, Augsburg. Yep, that's fine. The air conditioning on. I always set the air conditioning to 21 degrees, which they seem to be happy with. If it's too cold, or you forget to turn it on, they'll tell you, and I'm sure they'll tell you if it's too warm. So they seem happy enough with 21. So if it keeps them happy, we'll do that. Okay, let's go down and get some passengers. Come on, mate. We got across there reasonably easily. I was saying you don't see pedestrians in the game, you don't see people, but there are people sitting on the seats. There's quite a few sitting on the seats at the side there. So there are people. They're just not walking around or anything as such. At least I've never seen any. Or if they're there, I haven't noticed them, let's put it that way. You do see them sitting on the benches and stuff, having a chat or whatever, so that's fine. Looks like quite a modern office building to our right, just in front of us. You get a mixture of architecture in the city, some really old buildings and then some much more modern stuff. Okay, under the bridge again. Lights on green. Just changing, but I think we'll get across there just. Past the shops. And here's the bus station again. The ZOB. The ZOB. Which I think means combined rail and bus station. So there must be a rail station here as well. which I think is above us, and the bus station's below. That's what I think it is. Anyway, in we go. Our usual trip down here past all these buses, which I still don't think move. I think they're static. Although I thought there were two white ones there before, so I think there has been a change there. See what's around the corner, because last time there was a white one and a green one. And I thought before it was two green ones. Ah, that's changed. They're the other way round. They do change. Even though we don't see them move, they've definitely changed, because the green one was there with the Erfurt Castle €9 bear on the back. So they clearly do move about. Okay, so checking the people who've got tickets first. It's our normal way of things.
Mahlzeit, ist das gültig?
Okay, so one to Augsburg.
Vielen Dank.
Guten Tag, ich hoffe, ich bin hier richtig.
Okay, Alessia, two to Augsburg.
Salut, Sie wollen bestimmt mein Ticket sehen.
Three to Augsburg.
Sehr freundlich.
Guten Tag, ich hoffe, ich bin hier richtig.
Four to Augsburg.
Ciao.
He wants to buy a ticket, we'll leave him for now.
Sie wollen bestimmt mein Ticket sehen.
Okay, that's 4 and 1 now.
Auf geht's.
Hallo, bin ich hier richtig?
5 and 1.
Danke sehr.
Grüezi, bitte sehr.
6 and 1.
Vielen Dank.
Grüezi, bin ich hier richtig?
6 and 2.
Danke. Guten Tag, das Ticket. Bitte schön.
No, we're not going Erfurt, mate.
Ups. Mahlzeit, bitte Sie.
7 and 2.
Vielen Dank.
Okay, and this guy's buying a ticket to Augsburg, so it's going to be 8 to Augsburg, because they're all the same rate anyway.
Cool.
Okay, so back to our spreadsheet. So we had 8 in total going to Augsburg. 7 had tickets, 1 bought one. And we had 2 who are going to Stuttgart, and nobody bought one to Stuttgart. So when we get to Augsburg, we'll have $19.99 if they've already got them going to Stuttgart, and $24.99. We'll have to increase that if there's anybody buys. Okay, looks good. Oops. Okay, so if we get going, we should hopefully have a fairly straightforward journey. No rest stop to worry about, it's straight there, and Augsburg is not far. 99 kilometres. And the timetable gives us an hour and 20 minutes, so that should be fine. Okay, first thing is get out of München. So as you can tell, in terms of my hub, München's going to be quite important. There's lots and lots of routes going to go out of München, but that's fine because it's quite a big bus station and there's plenty of buses in there, so the theory is that although we always depart from the same stop, any one of those buses could be running any one of those services. So in reality, you'd have different services leaving approximately the same time from different points in the bus station, so it's not a major issue. They should be more than able to cope with lots of routes going out of there. Similarly, Berlin. That's why I chose those as hubs, because they're plenty of capacity to cope with plenty of routes going out of them. I was also thinking about the hub connections and thinking that we need some possibly going something like early hours of the morning, because if we're thinking that, say, the services out of München are starting at around about 10 o'clock in the morning, if there's people at Erfurt who want to be going to, say, Vienna, so they need to get a bus from Erfurt to München, and then they need to get the bus from München to Vienna. Well, to get them to Vienna at any reasonable sort of time, they would need to leave Erfurt quite early. So what I'm thinking is we run a service out of Erfurt at maybe 5 in the morning, which gets to München. There's a break there, they can have coffee and breakfast or whatever, do whatever they want, and then a bit later they can get the bus that goes to Vienna. So we might run one at 5 and one at 6 maybe, and we don't need to re-drive the whole route in order to do that and do it as a separate route. We can simply add the times onto the timetable sheet in the spreadsheet, and then those times are there, and we're just saying, well, that service also runs at 5 and 6 in the morning. And I do that probably just between the hubs, so Erfurt to München, Erfurt to Berlin, etc. Depending on what the time of the journey is, which I can't remember and would have to look at, but I would time them so that they're getting to the appropriate hub at, I don't know, 9, 10 in the morning, something like that, so that people can get connecting services. That makes logical sense to me. And as I say, there's no need to re-drive the whole route as a night route or anything like that. You can just add the times onto the route cards. You could do a late... Oh, I've gone the wrong way. Oh, that's not good. Right, I'm going to have to turn around here. Luckily I realised before we hit that invisible wall. Right, this is not what I meant to do at all. It's supposed to be going up there, I think. Okay, so we sort of got away with that. We had until he came along. Okay. Right. That was my fault. Just because I was talking about those times. But I was also thinking, might need some late ones going back. Because if people have done a 5-hour journey from Vienna to München or something, they might then need to get a bus back to Erfurt. So it might be good to have maybe, I don't know, buses leaving at 11 PM, midnight, from München going back to Erfurt, in case there are people coming in on late services from Vienna or somewhere who need to get back to Erfurt. I don't think they'd be very busy, so I don't think Fernbus would give you many passengers on them, but it's more a case of the option of the service for the passengers, really. And I didn't look there and should have done, so I need to stop talking about timetables because I'm going to have accidents. I'm not concentrating. Right, so let's concentrate on this drive and worry about timetables later. So what we're going to do is hopefully get to Augsburg without any further incidents. And Augsburg is straight on, according to that. And it should be pretty quick because it's not far. It's not going to take much more than half an hour game time to get to Augsburg by the look of it. Once we finish this route, just to finish this video off, I'll show you with one timetable what I'm talking about, and then I'll do the other hub routes offline just to set up some timings to do those late and early connections. Because I think it makes logical sense. That's the reason I've been thinking about it. It's not exactly essential to the game, but if you're trying to simulate a coach company, you might as well do it in the most logical way. Ooh. Why are we all hitting the brakes, guys? Don't know, but we're speeding up now. We're not far out, we're only 40 odd kilometres out now. Can't say I remember going to Augsburg before, so I'm not sure what it's like, but we'll see when we get there. Stuttgart's a pretty big city, I think, so that'll be quite big, and I'd imagine might have a bus station. A bit more like München than a stop at the side of the street like Erfurt, but we'll see. Not sure where the Flixbus in front of us is headed, but it's headed somewhere. May not even be in service. Might be heading to a maintenance depot or something. I mean, you never know. Buses do sometimes move around when they're not actually in service, so obviously companies try to minimise that because it costs fuel and everything, but it does happen. We've all seen buses on the road where it says not in service. And of course, if one breaks down or something, then you might have to move a bus from somewhere else to a location to pick up the service that it was supposed to be doing. So again, you get a bus that's not in service purely because it's going to get somewhere to start the service. Not not sure you could simulate that in Fernbus because I'm not sure you can drive if you haven't got a route. Although I suppose you could if you've just finished a route, there'd be nothing to stop you driving off somewhere else, would there? I don't see why they would anyway. Just dropped off passengers, you can technically do anything. I mean, you could drive off and get fuel, so you could drive off to a different city. So you could do it. Right, so we've got 9 minutes to do 9 kilometres. So we need to be doing 60, which we're not going to be, because it will change to a 50 limit very shortly. So we'll be roughly on time, or just a touch late, arriving at Augsburg. Hopefully we can get that back on the road to Stuttgart. So this is Augsburg. Looks pleasant enough. Red traffic lights aren't really helping my cause, but there you go. Red traffic lights rarely help anything, except traffic flow, I suppose. Come on in, mate. Oh, this one's green. That's handy. Just about make it through there. We need to go right here. And then straight up here and round, apparently. And we're going to be near enough on time. We're going to be a couple of minutes late, but that's not a major problem. So we can hopefully get it back on the road to Stuttgart anyway. Okay. Anybody buying tickets? Yeah, one at the back, I think.
Tja, ich hoffe, ich bin hier richtig.
Okay, so that's one.
Sehr freundlich.
See you, mate.
Bitte sehr.
Ah, he is on the list. It's two. What was this
Hallo,
guy?
mein Ticket.
Dresden? No, no, we're not going
Hab ich
Dresden.
mich wohl vertan.
Sorry, mate.
Salut, Sie wollen bestimmt mein Ticket sehen. Sehr freundlich.
Three.
Mahlzeit, bin ich hier richtig? Danke sehr.
Four.
Hallo, Sie wollen bestimmt mein Ticket sehen.
Five.
Guten Tag, Sie wollen bestimmt mein
Duisburg?
Ticket
No.
Servus, das Ticket. Bitte schön.
Six.
Tag, fahren Sie in meine Richtung?
Seven.
sehen. Servus, Sie wollen bestimmt mein Ticket sehen. Ciao.
Eight.
Servus, ich hoffe, ich bin hier richtig.
9,
Hallo, fahren Sie in meine Richtung?
10, and the rain starts.
Auf geht's.
Okay, so that's 10, and there's this lady here
Hi, kann ich bei Ihnen ein Ticket kaufen?
who wants to go Stuttgart. It's rather handy.
Cool.
Well, madam, get in out the dry. Get in the dry, out the wet. Bye bye, people. You're going to get wet, sorry. Okay. Okay, so 10 people already had tickets and 1 bought one. So we need to increase that to 3. And now we're ready to say, are we on time at the end? And it's just started tipping it down again. Just when I said it was a nice day. Okay, we won't need to skip forward because we're already late anyway, although very slightly. We are going to need some wipers and some lights. At least the road is clear, so at least I can get out of there easy enough. Go on, Mr. Policeman. Normally let the police go. Okay, so it's 159 kilometres. We've got 2 hours to do it. If I don't take any wrong turns, it might just be possible. Less than pleasant weather again. I haven't heard the enormous claps of thunder as yet, but the sky looks a lot greyer. Doesn't look like there's as much blue up there as I'd like. No, there are some breaks. Come on then, mate. Go on. Come on, you're a taxi. Get your foot down. Hey, main road again. Hey, back on the Stuttgart road. And some roadworks coming up. That's not really going to help a lot, but there you go. Not too long, they come to an end pretty soon. Okay, 130 to go. There's some services there. We don't need rest stop or anything, but you always have to think, is there a police check? But it doesn't look like there is. Okay, 85 to go. We've got about an hour and a half, so should be okay, theoretically. Once again, I'm not pushing the speed because A, there's a fair bit of traffic around and you can never trust what they'll do, and B, it's tipping it down. So I'm sort of only doing 80, 85, something like that most of the time. And I still don't think we're going to be late. I'm hoping not, anyway. Some more services. Looks like it's a rest area but no petrol. No fuel at that one by the look of things. Rest area in a loo. Okay. There might be a little cafe or something there. Unusual to have services at the side of a fairly major road and not have fuel, but there you go. Thought it best to let him out because otherwise I could see he'd pull out anyway. Okay, so we are nearly there. We should see Stuttgart fairly soon. We're only 20 kilometres out. Is the rain stopping? Now we're nearly there, the rain stops. Of course it does. Okay, looks like Stuttgart is off to the right here. Round a bit of a loop. The sun's coming out now. It would be nice if you'd done that earlier, but never mind. Okay, so we've got to go down here. So there is Stuttgart, I assume. Certainly we're going that way, so it would make sense that that is indeed the city. Put it like this, I hope that's Stuttgart, because if not we're in a lot of trouble, because that's where we're headed. We've got a good half an hour to do 8 kilometres, so we definitely are not short of time. Coming up on a petrol station. It's always good to know where they are. Because if I did it properly and forgot when I quit the game, if I saved the game by hitting escape after I've let our final passengers go, should be able to save the game then and then load it back in so you're sitting at the same stop and you can then go and refuel, and then it doesn't take you back to the depot. But that's what I keep forgetting to do, so I apologise for that, but I will remember to do it eventually. And I want to, because one of the Steam achievements is actually refueling a certain number of times, which I'm not going to get to if I don't refuel by definition. If I just keep quitting and starting from a depot, then it automatically is refueled. I mean, I probably wouldn't bother to record refueling unless you really want me to, but I'd do it offline, but nonetheless do it. But I keep forgetting. I'll try and remember next time. Okay. So we have a green light, but we have this guy on our left. Quite sure what he's playing at, to be honest. Pretty sure I need to go left up here. Thank you. Somebody letting us out? Good lord, whatever next. We need to go where that lorry just went, down over there. So it's not left at these lights, it's actually left at the next light. It's left here. Now Stuttgart's quite big, so I thought it might have quite a big bus station, but it doesn't look like it has. Although I don't know, it might do. Oh, there's the stop over there. Well, it's sort of like a bus station. Has it got a barrier? No, there's no barrier. I thought there was a barrier for a second. Right. Well, it's like just a area off the road, a couple of bus stops, so it's not that big. We are already there, sir, yes. Amazingly, it's true. I cannot deny it. They've got their bags. Okay, so we can log out. I can safely say that we were on time. I've no idea how much we made or didn't make. Oh, we made 167, that's alright. So on the summary, we're now up to getting on towards 2,500 now. Okay, so what I was talking about with routes is, let's find Erfurt to München. Where's Erfurt to München? Erfurt to München, okay. So I want to know how far that is. Erfurt to München was 437 kilometres, but more importantly, it's, call it 5 hours. Okay, so Erfurt to München, 5 hours. So if I want people to be there for a service that leaves München at 10, they need to be leaving Erfurt at 4 in the morning, get them there for 9, allow for any delay. So what I would do is I would say I'm probably not going to run these every hour, so what I'll do is make them an hour and a half. So just change the start time, and the end time will change automatically. So if I go 13:12 for that one, then let's go 14:42. Then we'll say there's a break in the afternoon until 17:12. Then there's an evening one at 18:42, and then we need one about 5 in the morning, so let's say it goes at about 05:12, and then one a little bit later, let's say 06:12. Okay, so those two buses, if they get on the 5:12 or the 6:12, we'll get them to München in time to get the 10:12 or the 11:12 theoretically. It's more likely the 5:12 will get them there to get the 11:12, and the 6:12 will get them there to get the 12:12. That's okay. Those times can stay as they are. What I'm going to do is remove a few in the middle and have a gap just for return times. We'll go to 42 on that one, and then what I want to do is put some later times going back. So we'll go back to an hourly service for the last few of the day. Okay, so 5 hours, that means if they got the last one of the day, they're going to get back to Earth at about 3 in the morning. But then that's up to them. Who knows how their day is. But so that's how you can change the times, and you can see they're going to get back at 3:10 in the morning. So your arrival time at your destination will change automatically. So you can set these times to be absolutely anything you like, have gaps wherever you want or whatever, and effectively we're just putting a night service. So that is as easy as that is. So I will finish there, and I'll see you next time when we'll go from Stuttgart back to München. Okay, take care, bye now.